Hi y'all, welcome back to the Traveling Texan. I have decided that in this video series, some locations we're going to talk about and it'll just be one video. Some locations, because it's going to be a lot longer and I want to go into a little bit more detail, I'll split it up into multiple parts. And that way you can watch it really quickly. You don't have to devote 15 to 20 minutes to the videos. You can just pull one up and learn about a location and look at the pictures. So I have notes because I can't remember everything. So most recently I went to Uganda and I was there for 3 weeks. It's the first time I've been to Africa and it didn't disappoint. I am going to share some of my stuff with you. I'm going to share this in 4 parts. So this will be a 4-part video series on Uganda. So Uganda is in East Africa. It's more like Central East Africa, but it is near the eastern edge. It's actually landlocked. It's bordered by Kenya, South Sudan, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Rwanda, and Tanzania. It actually has a huge border on Lake Victoria. The name comes from the Bugandan Kingdom. Uganda was actually 5 separate kingdoms, and those 5 kingdoms united to be Uganda. The Buganda Kingdom is the largest kingdom and also holds the capital of Kampala. The name Uganda comes from the Swahili for Bugandan. It was a protectorate of the British until October 9th, 1962. Unfortunately, when the British left, Idi Amin, a very bad dictator, came into power, and since Idi Amin, now they supposedly have a democracy, but their current president is Museveni, and Museveni has been in power for years and years and years. They have a lot of bribery in their government, and they bribe the people to vote, and the people don't understand that they're voting for Museveni and for kind of almost like a dictatorship. Their constitution actually has a limit on the age of the president, and when I was there they were actually trying to pass a law that removed that age limit, obviously because Museveni is about to be that age limit. So they still have a long way to go, although when I was there they had elected a very popular celebrity actor figure and he represents the opposition, and it was a very big win for the opposition. So hopefully in our lifetime, their government will be a little bit more democratic and a little bit more fair. Uganda borders Lake Victoria. It actually has one of the largest borders with Lake Victoria. You really can't even see the land on the other side of it. It's so large and it's just gorgeous to see it. I had dinner on a terrace as the sun set over Lake Victoria and it was just spectacular. The official language of Uganda is English and Swahili. Idi Amin spoke Swahili and that's why it became one of the official languages. And they use a lot of Swahili terms, although a great majority of the people are Bugandan from the Bugandan Kingdom and they speak Luganda. They're mainly a Christian country. They do have Muslims and what they call born-again Christians, and I don't know about non-religious. I did see a few temples, so I think that they have some like Hindus. They had a very large Indian population before Idi Amin came into power, and Idi Amin pretty much exiled all non-Ugandan people, so anybody that was foreign, even if the Indian person had been born in Uganda, they were still considered foreign. Their money is called the shilling, and actually $1 US equals about 3,500 shillings. Everything was so cheap compared to the United States. I took way more money than I needed, and I didn't realize that I took way more money than I needed, but I did help some of the charities that we work with the extra money. So it was nice to be able to give them some money and not have to wire it to them and pay wiring fees and all that stuff. Uganda lies on the equator, and they have a road that goes from Kampala to Masaka. And on the road from Kampala to Masaka, there is the equator and it's the actual line. And they have this really kind of touristy attraction, but it's actually really neat. They have these big arches on the equator, and you can stand with one foot in the northern hemisphere, one foot in the southern hemisphere, so that you're in both hemispheres, or you can stand in the direct middle so you're on the equator. They also have a restaurant there, which was actually pretty good food. It was a little slow, but it was really good. And then they have these experiments that you pay the restaurant, I believe 50 cents to $1. And what they have is on the equator, directly on the equator, they have this yellow bowl funnel. So when you pour water into the yellow bowl funnel on the equator, it goes directly down. It doesn't swirl, it just goes directly down. On the northern hemisphere, they have another yellow bowl funnel, and if you pour water into it, the water swirls down in a clockwise direction. If you go on the southern hemisphere side, there's a yellow bowl, and you pour water in it and it goes in the counterclockwise direction. So you can see how gravity works in the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere, and it proves the theory that, you know, when you go to Australia, the water in the toilet swirls the opposite direction, which is actually true. So it's actually a fun little place to visit, and it was very fun to take pictures and to be in both hemispheres and to be in no hemisphere, and it's a great place to stop along your way when you're visiting Uganda. One thing to note about Uganda, which is kind of funny, in Lugandan, the term for a person of European descent is Mzungu. So you hear, hello Mzungu, especially from the children. So you would expect to be called a Mzungu all the time. And you knew if the people were talking in Lugandan, but they said Mzungu, you knew they were saying something about you, whether it was good or bad or whatever. So, but overall, Uganda was a great country to visit. It's very safe there. Even with the almost dictatorship of Museveni, it's still very safe as long as you follow the laws and as long as you stick to, you know, normal safety rules when you're in an area you don't know. So I would definitely recommend visiting Uganda, and in the next couple of videos we'll talk more about the country and the people.